YouTube advertisements have completely gone off the rails in 2020 since this pandemic started. Basically anything goes, as risque as you want it to be, as long as that money keeps getting fed to the mummy Google, YouTube is perfectly fine with it. You know who else is perfectly fine with it? Me. It doesn't bother me. But I do find it a bit conflicting when on one hand YouTube is preaching this, oh, we gotta be good for everyone and okay with how our content appeals to the masses and making sure it doesn't offend anyone and upset or bring an opinion that could be wrong or controversial or even make people think a different way. And then on the other hand, they got advertisements paying them money and they're perfectly fine with whatever those ads want to show because they're paying Google money and they'll gladly accept it. It kind of contradicts itself.
A lot of times it's a complicated ecosystem. We are doing our best to grow the overall platform and do what's best for all of the constituents in the long term, but there are definitely moments that it gets a little bumpy.
On one hand, they're allowing people to pay them money, and then on the other hand, they're saying, yeah, you gotta make content within these strict rules and regulations if you want to have the content that you're making monetized. Otherwise, the yellow dollar sign demonetization comes in and your video that you spent sometimes, some people, weeks if not months making is worthless. Why? Because YouTube's own rules and regulations say that you can't do certain things in the videos. But because it's corporate America, if you're paying them money, those rules and regulations don't really apply. Apparently that's how this is working on YouTube. As long as you're giving them money, no one's got a problem with it. Now this all came to a head the other day when people started noticing Destiny Fomo is now advertising her OnlyFans account on YouTube. And it's showing up to the masses right now, even more so than her previous ad campaign that she had when she was pushing all her video game videos in front of everyone's faces, and she was growing rapidly. I don't even know what she's at right now, probably over 100,000 subscribers. Good for her, not knocking her, but it kind of brings me back to the original situation we all had with her, Jason from Overthink Gaming, who was false copyright struck by her. Originally, I made a video very frustrated at how she handled the situation, and then people started attacking me. Why? Probably because she's an attractive girl. Probably because she has a very innocent look and approach, and that's how she goes about things, and that's okay. But honestly, I was attacked by a lot of people, especially on social media, for making a video daring to question a false copyright strike that she herself put out there against Overthink Gaming, who dared ask the question, is she a thought or not on a thumbnail? Like, a legitimate question, and now in retrospect, even more legitimate, when she's advertising an OnlyFans account. Which, by the way, again, she's more than welcome to do. I don't have an issue with that. I know everyone's gonna look for an angle to get mad at me again. No, she's more than welcome to do it. But just showing up on YouTube with her chest sticking out in your face as you're scrolling through these videos, it's very conflicting on what we're supposed to feel as viewers on YouTube now. What is supposed to be okay? If it's an advertisement, then sex sells and that's totally fine. But if it's not an advertisement, then you gotta stay strictly adhering to the guidelines of YouTube. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the contradictions that are popping up right now. Now, regarding the Destiny Fomo situation, I did have a private conversation with her via DMs, and we sorted things out. She let me know she felt very bad and felt sorry for how she created that whole situation with Overthink Gaming. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. But I'm still frustrated that she never publicly apologized for it. She just brushed it under the rug and everyone was perfectly fine with that situation. They just all moved on from it. I was like, you know what? If you're going to go ahead and do something as damning as that to another YouTuber, you should probably come forward if you truly feel sorry about it and let everyone know about it instead of hiding behind DMs. But whatever, it's in the past. But don't come at me telling me she's this innocent girl and cares about video games when she deletes all her old video game videos and then advertises her OnlyFans account on YouTube. It's her business, and clearly it must be doing something right for her. Otherwise, why would she be making this big push? Again, to each their own, and I don't mean to make this a completely talk about Destiny FOMO video once again, but I just want people to take a step back from the whole situation and realize what it is. Like, it is what it is, and don't try to make excuses for people and try to rationalize your thought process because someone's hot. Let's be real here, okay? But going back to this whole ad campaign that YouTube on the whole, the platform is facing right now, I was watching videos, and one of the videos I clicked on, it was just weird. It had this Indian dude, it was like a, what do you call it, FaceTime on the iPhone, and it had his little picture in the bottom corner. It had this girl basically like stripping and opening her legs, and then it faded to black and gave the whatever website it was. It was basically a slut website, a whole website, like one of those cam girl websites that you could just watch girls get naked on. This was an advertisement on YouTube, and it was like 5 seconds before a video. So it was too quick for me to try to screen record. It was too quick for me to do anything to capture it. I did manage to get a screenshot of it, but that was it. By the time I actually pulled up the recording and stuff, it was gone. And you couldn't rewind it, and you couldn't click on it, you couldn't do anything. It was just, that was it, and then it moved on to the video. So that is something that some advertisements are doing right now to kind of skirt the laws of YouTube. It doesn't show any nudity, it doesn't actually show any action happening, but it definitely insinuates that there's a dude looking for a girl to show her bobs. But we all know what these websites are. We all know they exist. It's the internet. I mean, kind of part of the reason the internet's been so successful, let's be real, is because what it's able to offer a lot of people out there. And I'm totally fine with it. I love the freedoms of the internet. What I hate is contradictions and corporate America trying to give Puritan reasons and rationale as to why one thing's okay and then another thing's not, when they're the same thing. It's all about money. It always is. Follow the dollar, and at the end of the day, you'll see why decisions get made the way they are. It's the way it is, and it sucks, but honestly, that's the reality, and we gotta deal with it. I just want to make this video almost just calling attention to the situation. I thought it was fascinating that YouTube for so long was so aggressive against creators about what they're allowed to talk about and what they're not, and for a while were aggressive against certain types of advertisements. They seem to, during this pandemic, cut back a lot of those restrictions and allow basically anything that can skirt any laws into YouTube just for them to make a buck at the end of the day. And as a content creator, I'm not complaining about it. I mean, these are advertisements for the creations that people are making. And at the end of the day, that's money to the creators. Don't have to question where the money's coming from, don't have to question the type of content that they're trying to sell to you or peddle to you, but it's just funny during the pandemic how YouTube has loosened their laws and allowed these really scandalous, I guess you could say, type websites appearing and just filling everyone's feeds. I did have somebody say, oh, it's based off of what you view and what you're watching, and it pulls the data, the metadata from your phone and your computer, and it serves those ads to you based off of who you are and what you search. I mean, first off, I mean, these kind of things would apply to anybody. I think they're more just your gender, and then they serve them based off your age and gender and what they know about you. These ads are showing up for a lot of people. For me in particular, I stick to video gaming on YouTube. Once in a while I'll stray from it. Once in a while I'll watch some music videos or play them in the house, or I'll watch some how-to or how to fix my sink or random stuff like that. But overall, I watch YouTube for video game content and video game videos and entertainment. And these ads that are starting to get served to me right now are a little bit more than questionable. And to each their own, let them do what they want to do. It's just interesting how the dynamic has completely shifted with YouTube during a pandemic, where it's perfectly okay now for advertisers to be scandalous and risque, whereas before the pandemic, they were getting money from other places. They didn't need to loosen their laws, and that's the reality of what I see going on right now with YouTube. Anyways, I'm gonna leave the video right there, but I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this situation. If you've come across these advertisements in your own time scrolling through YouTube's algorithm, or if you haven't seen any of them yet. And I say yet because it's just a matter of time before they start appearing for you as well. I'm gonna leave the video there. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.